Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best small forwards currently in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM right now on this tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So, we got about 30 of the best small forwards in my team to rank on today's list, so somewhere around 6 cards per tier seems about fair. And honestly, Adam Morrison does not crack my top 6 at the small forward position. I just don't love this card. His upper is garbage, and it hurts his release, it hurts his fade. Honestly, it kind of hurts all of his animations, at least to a certain extent, and it limits how truly great he can be, because on paper, stat, badge, and animation-wise, outside of his upper, he is an exceptional card. But I think a pretty questionable jump shot is something that does hold a card back, even if they're exceptional in every other aspect. And so for me, Adam goes A. Now, the question with a guy like Amari Stoudemire is, similarly to Adam, release is not incredible, but everything else about the card is phenomenal. Like, he's even 6'10 as well. He's got incredible versatility. I still probably think he goes A tier instead of S, though, to be honest, because the lack of an elite release does matter. And to me, like, I would rather use a card who has a really good release than use this Amari Stoudemire card. But he is still very good, a great free reward card. So I'm going to go A tier for him. I think Anton Jameson is absolutely awful. His release is the worst release, in my opinion, maybe of any card on this list. At the very minimum, it is one of the worst. It's probably the worst, though. It is a very poor release, and honestly, it kind of kills anything else about this card that's particularly good about him. And in my opinion, a release that bad is something that just entirely handicaps and ruins a card in a lot of ways. So, for me personally, I think it's pretty fair to definitely put him in D tier. Blake Griffin is going to go C. I just don't like Blake's release either, but like, he's not a bad card. On paper, at least, he's pretty good. I just don't love the card myself. I don't know. It's not that he's a bad option by any means, because I really don't think he is. I just don't think he's a phenomenal card. His release isn't great. He doesn't do anything movement-wise particularly special or anything. And among the best of the best, he's just not, in my opinion, really top tier. I would say Danny Ferry is definitely S tier. He's our first S tier guy. 6'10 with an amazing release. Really good shot creation ability as well. Elite level versatility and defense. But like I said, most importantly, an elite release. That's something that's not true about anybody else on this list so far. So for me, I think Danny Ferry is definitely S tier. Danny Granger. I almost said Julius Randle. Danny Granger is going to go C for me. He is probably almost D. But I think there's a few guys on this list who are worse than him. I think while he's not a great card at all, he's got an okay release. He's pretty okay offensively. I just think there are certainly better options at the same time, so I think C is pretty fair. Rodman feels fair to put it B. Amazing defender, pretty good movement, super athletic, not a great release. Definitely would take guys like Amari and Adam over him, and I would definitely take him over guys like Blake and Danny Granger. So I feel like the B tier is actually probably the perfect spot for him. So we're going to go with B tier for Danny Granger in this video. Next, we have Giannis, who's obviously S tier. 100 overall. Giannis is probably the best small forward in the game. A 7-foot, insanely glitchy card with perfect animations. Unbelievable all the way around. The only complaint would be that his release is not best of the best, but I still truly believe the release is not bad. Overall, the card is phenomenal. I think he does a ton of things really well. He is a awesome defender, and just, I mean, he's a great card. Great card. And yeah, very impressed by what he is able to do. I just wish he was attainable. That's the thing. A card like that is obviously not attainable at all, but it'd be nice if he was. Ito Turkoglu, I would say, probably goes in at B or C. Like, his release is pretty good, and he's 6'10 with pretty good movement. Defensively, he's just mediocre. But I think his size, plus I don't dislike the release, is enough to make him a solid small forward. B tier seems fair to me. I think Worthy would go B as well, or maybe A. Worthy's good, no doubt. He just doesn't have much shot creation. He's got a nice release. He's a really good defender. He's a 3-and-D beast, and he's definitely not a bad card at all. It's just the small forward position is really good, and I think there are still some better options, even some free cards that are better than him. So I think high B is probably fair. Julius Randle, I should say, is going to go D. I'm sorry, A. What am I saying? D. Definitely, I think A. He's like, what, 6'8", 6'9". Good release. Does a lot of things well. I mean, he's a very nice card who does a ton of things at a really high level. Very versatile card. And I think A tier is probably fair. Nice release, versatile defender, super athletic, a good card. Kenyon Martin is, I think, even a better version of Julius Randle. Better shot creation, still an amazing defender, still a decent release. I like him pretty close to as much as Amari Stoudemire. Both those guys I think are super good, and I think it's totally fair to put them both in the A tier for me personally. KD stinks, honestly. He's 6'10", but he's not, I mean, release isn't all that good, neither is shot creation. I think C tier is probably fair. Wouldn't quite go D tier, but I don't think he's a very good card personally. I think pretty easily D tier C is like a pretty fair spot for this card. And then KG is, I'm going to still go S tier with him because he's so big. I mean, his release is not incredible, but he's a 6'11" small forward with perfect animations. He is just such a good option. I feel like his release is not bad either. He also does crack my S tier for sure, and I think he's a really, really good 100 overall card, although obviously the card basically doesn't exist. Lamar Odom is 6'10" with a nice release, a lot of shot creation. He's got good size, good or decent shot creation. He's athletic. He's a solid defender as well. I do think Odom's pretty good. I think 6'10", it gives a lot of value, and I think very, very solidly A tier. I'm going to go S tier for Larry Bird. Bird is really, really nice. He does amazing shot creation, but he's got a really nice fade. He kind of does everything at a very high level at the small forward position. I think Bird is definitely one of the best small forwards in my team. Larry Markkanen's A tier. I think he's higher than Kmart and Randall. Honestly, I'm kind of looking at Kmart and Randall and thinking I might move them down a tier. Honestly, this feels a little more even. I don't know. I say that, but Odom in A tier feels a little strange now. I don't know. I think this is probably fair. LeBron is going to go A at this point. I don't think I would put him S because his release is not unbelievably amazing. He's an exceptional defender. He's got good size at 6'9". He's a good card with a very good shot creation as well. Obviously an elite level slasher, but his release could be a little better. If I'm looking for things to nitpick, it's that. And I think probably can go A tier instead of S. I'm going to go Larry Markkanen in the A tier as well. Amazing shooter at 7 foot. That size is valuable. He's actually a pretty good perimeter defender as well. Not bad on the interior, obviously, especially with his size. And I think he's a really solid card. I think A tier is very fair. That's where we're going to go with him. Luol Deng is going to go S tier for me. I think he's probably the best small forward that you can get besides, I guess, 100 overall, I'll be honest. Luol Deng is phenomenal. He's got a great release. He is a very good slasher. He's got great sigs. He's super complete stat and badge-wise. He is just such a good all-around card in the S tier. MPJ probably goes C. 6'10" shooter, but literally nothing else. I think he's a worse version of a guy like Ito Turkoglu. The cards in B tier are actually very, very solid, so I think C tier is probably fair. Paulo's going to go back of A. I say that at small forward, he's no better than Kenyon Martin or Julius Randle. He doesn't have that much shot creation. His release is not extraordinary. He's just big and good defensively, but he doesn't have the shot creation ability of a guy like Amari Stoudemire with similar size. And I don't think he's got the release, in my opinion, or the creation of a Lamar Odom. So, gonna go B tier for Paulo Banchero. Gonna go B tier as well for Pascal Siakam. Actually, a decent release. Has Trey Escape, good defender, good slasher. Just a little bit meh animation-wise. In terms of his release, I would say it's fast, but a bit hard to green. He is a very good defender, though. He's very versatile. He's athletic. He's a good card. Definitely not bad at all. Rashard Lewis stinks. That card is D tier to me. I think he honestly is bad. 6'10" with a very bad release. I know he's got great size, but his release is terrible. Kind of like Anton Jameson's. It really kills the card. I think he's easily one of the worst couple cards on this list. Rudy Gay is going to go A tier for me. Great shot creator. Great release. Really, really fun offensive small forward. He's one of the very best offensive scoring small forwards in the game. He's just not as elite defensively as some of the cards around him. I just think he's good enough offensively that I definitely would still give him an A tier, and I really, really do like the card. Scottie Pippen is S tier, 6'8" with an amazing release, legit shot creation ability, Pro 2 fade, amazing versatile defender as well, has enough size to compete at a super high level. He is a phenomenal, phenomenal card. We're going to go S with him as well. Sean Kemp is, I guess, A. He's like a better version of a Lamar Odom, in my opinion. A 6'10" dude with a lot of badge and stat versatility. Release is solid. Slashing is amazing. Sigs are okay, not insane, but pretty good. And its size is obviously very, very solid as well. So I like the card. I think A tier is fair. Sean Marion, I almost want to put S tier, but I think I'm going to go A. I say that. I kind of want to put him. I'm putting him S tier. Sean Marion's release is so solid. People don't like his release. I don't get it. I don't understand the dislike of the Sean Marion. He moves well. He's got good sigs. He's an amazing defender, and he's got a great release. He's really, really solid. Honestly, I think he might. I like him better than Adam Morrison, and I like several of these cards better than Adam Morrison, to be fair. No, I can't put him S. He's got to go A with these guys. He's not a tier above Rudy Gay and LeBron James. That's ridiculous. Terry Dishinger does go S tier, though. His release is phenomenal. His movement is also very good. He is only 6'7", but he is an amazing defender as well. He is really, really good. A badged up Terry especially is pretty close to as good as most of the other small forwards. He plays so well, and his release is incredible. I think definitely S tier. I got to move somebody down to B tier is what I'm realizing, because I think A tier, it's got to be Lamar Odom. Yeah, so we're moving Lamar to B, and I'm putting Tyrese Thomas in A. I definitely would take Tyrese over Lamar. Kemba escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, Kyrie dribble style at 6'9", with elite level defense and slashing ability as well, makes him so good. Yes, only an 83 ball, but with shooting that just added and upgraded. He's an elite level shooter as well, because he's got a phenomenal base, one of the best glitchiest bases in the game. The reason Tyrese Thomas was so good is because he didn't have a card prior to being added to this game, but with that card specifically, but he is an amazing card and definitely A tier. Then we got the final cards on the list. Definitely D tier for both Zebo and Zion. I don't even really think I need to spend that much time on either of them. Both of their releases are bad. On paper, neither of them are terrible cards, but that's true about Jamison and Rashard Lewis as well. All four of the guys in D tier have absolutely atrocious releases, and that is what holds them back. And yes, I understand this list is top heavy in S through B, but I think that's fair. A lot of these cards are really, really good. I could have added in a bunch of filler BS cards to make for bigger C and D tiers probably, but I didn't really want to do that. And I think we still covered a lot of cards in this video. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.